E-Times. oh, CEO interview Hussein El Khoury on intelligent power and sensing at the Electronica 2024 in Munich, Germany. And this week, onsemi introduced its Trail modular analog mixed signal technology platform that enabled the company to provide application-specific product for intelligent sensing. Here we present a video interview from the show with the CEO of onsemi, Hussein El Khoury, as well that we discuss the Trail platform and also talk more broadly about the recent company development and strategy orientation. So focusing on intelligence, power, and sensor technology supporting a sustainable environment, he talks about the onsemi approach to the electric car industry and cover the onsemi's position in wide bandgap material, including gallium niacide gallium, and calcium silicon, carbon silicon, and as well as the company focus on the robust, regionally dispersed in production. Finally, El Khoury provides his thought on how he is trying to maintain some onsemi's edge in the fastest changing semiconductor industry, and this includes support for innovation, drawing talent, and industry economic operation. Watch the clip video and interview below. TSMC sued for race and citizenship discrimination at each regional facility. Updated. TSMC has been accused for preferring the Taiwanese employees. TSMC is being sued by the current and former employees, and including a talent acquisitions director, over alleged development employment discrimination. The employees claimed that TSMC and the world's largest chipmaker has favored the employees who are Taiwanese citizens and forced out American workers. First reported the suit. The suit was first filed by Deborah Huington, the talent acquisition director, back in August. Huington claimed she saw a HR department create a workplace in which non-Asian employees and non-Taiwanese citizens are subjected to a stricter level of scrutiny, and similarly situated Asian employees, including Taiwanese citizens. Since a dozen former TSMC staffers have also joined the suit. TSMC is set to get $11.6 billion from the United States through the Chip and Science Act, with $6.6 billion in the cash and $5 billion in loan. TSMC is using the fund to build a series of fabs in its plant in Arizona. Having accepted $6 billion in U.S. federal funding and elected to compete within the U.S., it's imperative that TSMC comply with the federal discrimination laws and treat all races and national origins and citizens equally. The plaintiff's attorneys, the Daniel Cotton of the Cotton and Law, told Forbes, "We are confident in our case and look forward to presenting the case to a jury." The TSMC declined to comment to the litigation to Tom's Hardware, but added, TSMC believes strongly in the value of the diverse workforce, and we hire and promote without regard to gender, religion, race, nationality, or political affiliation, because we respect differences, and we believe that equal deployment opportunity strengthens our competitiveness. We also provide various channels for employees to raise concern and strive to address concern constructively. Among the Allegations in the complaint are that TSMC's HR in Taiwan sent the U.S. arm of the company the resumes of the candidates that have already been vetted and can work with the U.S. Then the U.S. teams simply hire the Asian and Taiwanese candidate without occasions, even if no open roles have been posted in the U.S. The suit also claimed that the desire for Mandarin and Chinese language skills have been listed, even if they wouldn't be required for the position, and the use of the Mandarin is to exclude employees that don't speak their language and limit their career advancement. The suit also alleged that the Taiwanese employees on visas are being used to reduce the number of union positions for U.S. workers. There have been a number of reports that TSMC has been having a trouble finding its footing in the United States, with a concern over a labor practice of driving away American workers, with several hundred employees being brought in and from Taiwan to meet the deadlines. That's the top of the TSMC having trouble adjusting to U.S. work culture. In October, TSMC and the U.S. President Rick Castillo said that its Phoenix plant achieved a 4% better yield than a comparable manufacturing site in Taiwan in early test, which is a good sign for the fab. Not much money from the CHIPS Act has changed hands yet, as the U.S. government looks for a strict milestone for chip makers to receive taxpayers' dollars. It's unclear if the lawsuit on discrimination against American workers and the hostile work environment will affect that further, as well as any changes that may occur to the CHIPS Act as the Biden administration wraps up and former President Donald Trump returns to the White House in January. Okay. Next is AMD is laying off 4% of its global workforce as it sharpens focus on AI. Around 10,000 globally to be affected. The AMD on Wednesday said that it would reduce its global workforce by 4% in a bid to focus on its main future growth opportunities. As a result of that decision, the company will have to lay off around 1,000 billion employees worldwide after doubling its count over the past 3 years. As part of aligning our resources with our large growth opportunities, we are taking a number of targeted steps that will unfortunately result in reducing our global workforce by approximately 4%. A statement from the AMD reads, "We are committed to treating impacted the employees with respect and helping them through this transition." The workforce reduction is described as a targeted approach, ensuring the AMD has the skills necessary in the sectors of its fastest growth, including its data center operations in general and AI processors in particular. It is unclear which AMD's business units will feel the brunt of the cuts. As of late 2023, AMD employs 25,768 people full-time, in addition to the 9,526 temporary workers and contractors, which was roughly 2 times more than the company employed in 2020, and 12,637 permanent employees and 5,739 temporary workers. The AMD's rivals Intel is processing of layering of some 16,000 people across the company as it's trying to adjust its cost structure with its current earning. Unlike AMD, Intel has been bleeding money in the central quarters, which at least explained Intel's reasons for cutting staff. AMD's statement almost reads like a preference for a lean organizational structure, though it's hard to say how much adjustment will affect the company's competitive positions here and now. Almost the same content, almost an article about the same topic. The AMD to cut 4% of workforce to prioritize AI chip expansion and driver NVIDIA. The workforce reduction comes amid strong data center growth and a shift in focus toward AI. Advanced Micro Devices AMD is laying off 4% of its global workforce, around 1,000 employees, as it pivots resources to developing AI-focused chips. This marks a strategic shift by AMD to challenge NVIDIA's lead in the sector. As part of the aligning our resources with our largest growth opportunities, we are taking a number of targeted steps that will unfortunately result in reducing our global workforce by approximately 4%, CRN reported, quoting an AMD spokesperson. We are committed to treating impacted employees with respect and helping them through this transition, the spokesperson further added. However, it remains unclear which department will experience in majority of the layoffs. According to AMD, seeking further clarification remain unanswered. A surprising call. The latest layoffs were announced in AMD's quarterly earnings reflected a strong result, strong increases in revenue as well as net profit. This surprised many in the industry. Employees too demonstrated the shock in the community chat platform Blind, while the information pertaining to the layoff came out first, which was later confirmed by the company. However, on a deeper look, Q3 results showed both strengths and challenges. While total revenue rose by 18% to the $6.8 billion, gaming chip revenue plumbed 69% year-over-year, and embedded chip sales dropped to 25%. In its recent earnings call, AMD CEO Lisa Su underscored that the data center and AI business is now pivotal to the company's future, expecting a 98% growth in this segment for 2024. Su attributed the recent revenue gains to orders from a client like Microsoft and Meta, with the latter now adopting AMD's MI300X GPUs for international workloads. However, unlike AMD's relatively targeted job reductions, Intel recently implemented far larger cuts, eliminating approximately 15,000 positions and amid its restructuring efforts. So, data center and AI drove growth. AMD has been growing rapidly through initiatives such as optimizing Instinct GPUs for AI workforces, meeting data center reliability standards, which led to $500 million increase in the company 2024 Instinct sales forecast. Major clients like Microsoft and Meta too expanded their use of MI300X GPUs, with Microsoft using them Copilot services and Meta deploying them the Llama models. Public cloud providers including Microsoft and Oracle Cloud, along with several AI startups, also adopted MI300X instances. This highlights AMD's intensified focus on AI, which has driven its R&D spending up to nearly 9% in the third quarter. The increased investment supported the company's effort to scale production of MI325X AI chips, which are expected to be released later this year. MI325X. Beside, the AMD has recently introduced its first open source large language models under the OLMO brand, targeting a stronger foothold in the competitive AI market to compete against industry leaders like NVIDIA, Intel, and Qualcomm. The AMD could very well build a great full-stack AI proposition with a play across the hardware, LLM, and broader ecosystem layers, giving it a key differentiator among other major silicon vendors, said Sujal Menon, practice director at Everest Group. AMD is considered NVIDIA's closest competitor in the high-value chip market, powering advanced data center that handle the extensive data needs of generative AI technologies. Next is Samsung SK to unveil supercomputer chips at SC24. The South Korean chip makers Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix will showcase their latest chips for artificial intelligence applications and Supercoming at Supercoming 24, the largest international conference on high-performance computing, next week. The annual event, which first kicked off in 1988 and is organized by Associated for Computing Machinery and the IEEE Computer Society, will take place at the Georgia World Congress Center in Atlanta from Sunday to November 22. The Korean chip makers will join 345 other global tech conferences such as NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Google to share their industry outlook and showcases their chips at the event. Samsung, the world's largest memory chip maker, is expected to exhibit its latest product utilizing the Compute Express link, according to the industry sources. CXL is the next generation interface that adds efficiency to accelerator, DRAM, and storage devices used with a central processing unit in high-performance server systems. It can be comparable to the merging the wide roads, enabling the efficiency transfer of large volumes of data, according to the Samsung official. At the event, Samsung is expected to showcase the CXL memory module DRAM CMM and CMMH, which combine the CMM with an NAND flash memory chip. The company is also expected to promote its high-bandwidth memory chips, the most advanced DRAM chip that enhances AI processing in graphic processing units. The chip giant is expected to start to supply the fifth generation of 12-layer HBM3E to customers in the October-December period. The SK Hynix, the world's largest chip maker, its world's second largest chip maker and the dominant supplier of HBM, is expected to exhibit the AI chips along with the AI training solution utilizing CXL. The chip maker is the main supplier of the high-value HBM3E chips to NVIDIA, the largest GPU maker in the US, and is currently leading the advanced DRAM market, taking over 52% share. The SK Hynix is also expected to introduce accelerator in memory-based accelerator AIMS and an accelerator card that specializes in the large language models based on its GDDR6 AIM chip. The high-performance memory product provides high bandwidth and outstanding energy efficiency, according to the company. Supercomputing is a form of high-performance computing that is determined by or calculated by using a power computer, reducing overall time to solution. Okay, next is here. The weekly.com. Electronics, weekly.com. The TSMC Vexar has $11.6 billion CHIPS Act funding. The TSMC and the U.S. Department of Commerce have finalized their previously announced preliminary agreement that TSMC should receive $6.6 billion of CHIPS Act money plus £5 billion in loan and a 25% tax credit on infrastructure capex to support the $65 billion investment investment in investment it is making the 3 fabs in Arizona. This is the largest foreign direct investment in a greenfield project in the history of the United States, said the U.S. President Joe Biden. Pictures right. The first of the TSMC's 3 facility is on the track to fully open early next year, which means that for the first time in a decade, an American manufacturing plant will be producing the leading-edge chips used in our most advanced technologies. Entering this phase of the U.S. Chips and Science Act marks the pivotal step in strengthening the semiconductor ecosystem in the United States, said TSMC CEO C.C. Wei, featured left. TSMC appreciated the continued collaboration with customers, partners, local communities, and the U.S. government beginning in early 2020. The signing of this agreement helped us to accelerate the development of most of the advanced semiconductor manufacturing technology available in the US. Okay, next to InfoWorld. The 14 great preprocessors for development who loves code. Sometimes it's likely the rules of programming are designed to make coding a chore. Here are 14 ways to preprocessors can help make software development fun again. As much as we love them, programming languages can often feel like straitjackets. They are a complex bundle of the synthetic rules, and if we can break them, even once the compiler starts screaming out error messages. There are conventions to find every little things, such as the best way to name variable or how to decant your code. The language designers claim that these constraints are a feature, not a bug. But programming languages don't need to be that way. Over the years, clever developers have come up with sneaky and not so sneaky ways to write code in their own idiosyncratic styles. Preprocessors can bridge the gap and jumping into a pipeline before the code is compiled to fix all the strange twists and personal styles that keep coding fun. Preprocessors are new, and languages like C have relied on them for years, but lately they have been growing in popularity as developers create more expressive ways to let grammars write software however they like. When it comes time to compile, that old unique style is quietly removed and replaced, so the final version is general rules of the language. In the interest of the programmers slipping out of the straitjacket, here's our list of the ways to preprocess your code, and included are language-specific preprocessors one to bridge the gap between the data scientists and developers, and everyone, even one for converting American-style English to something more palatable to our colleagues across the pond. Less than assess. The power and responsibility given to CSS are now so great that we need a way to bring order to some of the more elaborate layouts in modern site, and both less learner CSS and SASS synthetic awesome style sheets are preprocessors that let you behave more likely grammar programmer by developing a variable and other functions to simplify a CSS layout. If your website design has dominant color, you will need to define it at once, and SS is a more powerful of the two, and more complex options looks as in linear. REST is still powerful enough to get it done. Either tools let you bring a programmer's touch and sensibility to clean up the seemingly endless of the CSS layout option. Observed.js. Some people like consistency and prefer to work with a particular language. You're a fan of JavaScript, and if you want to use its power to craft your CSS, then Observed.js is the preprocessor for you. The letter JS are in the name. The goal is CSS, and Observed.js you can use the power of the programming concept like inheritance to produce the elaborate CSS layout. Like less and SASS, there is a preprocessor that lets you think like a programmer instead of a designer. Python. Some developers like using the braces to define a block of code. Some prefer hitting the spacebar and the tab key. Python was designed for programmers to love a good intent. Now it's more powerful and ubiquitous. Some of the collaborators loving crowd may want to use Python library and tools. Python is a preprocessor. Python is a preprocessor that lets you keep your calibrations and your Python libraries too. You just code like normally would by Python the last, it will automatically replace your calibrations with intent so you never have to hit the spacebar. Pi preprocessor. The C language has long offered the C coder that a chance to make complex decisions about the code with a processing state like ifdef, chop ifdef, or pound ifdef, which turns big blocks of the code on off. Now Python programs can do the same thing with the Pi preprocessor, a dynamic library that lets you use your flags and meta available to make code disappear to repair that will. TypeScript. The JavaScript and originally designed for web programmers who needed to add a short block of code to websites that mostly built from the HTML. If we didn't want to spell all of the type of variable, it was no big deal because the JavaScript does core was small and easy to understand. The changes and now many developers build elaborate and very dynamic sites out of the thousands of lines of JavaScript. Given the range of JavaScript some developers now want to assure that comes from the strongly typed code, JavaScript is the answer. TypeScript is the answer, and each amazing compromise generic JavaScript continues to acceptable to TypeScript, which means that all type of information you add is additional. TypeScript's preprocessing stage double checks for errors when it can find them. When the spit out something the generic JavaScript engine can process. So some of the most popular JavaScript frameworks like Angular now rely on TypeScript for strong typing. The CoffeeScript. For every Python programmer who yearned to be writing with a C-style syntax, there is a JavaScript programmer who desired the freedom and the simplicity of writing Python. CoffeeScript is the answer. There are now a number of variants like ToffeeScript, Civet, Storymatic, and CoffeeScript 2, the World Wrath of Khan, along with more than a dozen others. All these languages save us from the incredible onerous task of lifting the right pinky finger to press the semicolon. They also offer the neat features like semi-asynchronous grammars and elaborate mechanism to the meta-programming. The result is cleaner code and less punctuation, which is, in the eyes of CoffeeScript programmers, at least much easier to read. The handlebars and pug. The modern code that typically contains many blocks of text with messages for eventually human users. These are often filled with many insertions and customization. Templating the system like handlebars and pug help to speed up the writing these blocks of the human readable text. There is no need to write a low-level code required to glue together string. So you just write the text and the templating the system handles the chore and patching together all the parts. The AWK. The Unix command line tools with one of the simplest and most powerful tools for working with pure text, named for its three original creators, Alfred Hu and Peter and Jim Boxer and Brian W. Cunningham. Cunningham. The AWK link altogether a number of commands for extracting data from lines of sorting and filtering it. It's possible to build a full report using AWK. Programmers also use it to clean up the raw data and the processing pipeline before the main program imports it. Before The R is a powerful language that was largely created by the statisticians, who generally think they're like mathematicians, not computer programmers. That's not a bad thing, but it can harder for using all great libraries in R, which lack some of the great advanced programming design. Vapor is a preprocessor. The latch R usually think like a programmer, specifically programmers who love using the type system to catch bugs and enforce structure. Vapor's developers say it's still in the early alpha stage, so they may be adding a new feature and tweaking the syntax. The goal is to let the tool evolve quickly with the needs of users. Next is Spiffing. Not all English speakers use language in the same way, particularly across the continents and cultures. Spiffing, also see spiffing, same, is a preprocessor that translates code written in American English to British English. It's a bit of goof, but that doesn't mean it is not useful or capable of bridging a cultural divide. If it is a cultural divide, if it is catches on, maybe on one day, developers will build out the preprocessor so that it converts all rather than a direct American style diction into a more reserved British style. Instead of if then statement, we would have a percent or the right syntax, for example. The linting preprocessors. Not all preprocessors convert code. Some clean up after us. Look for the bug we've missed. The original Unix command line tools lint has better state sizes and allow each functions are now found as preprocessor in many language development stack. These lint tools or linters fix formatting, enforcing the naming convention, and even fix some syntactic and semantic errors. Some enforce rules that flags potential security flaws from the bad logic. Popular versions include the Robocop for Ruby code, and PyLint for Python, and ESLint for JavaScript, ECMA script. The preprocessor for documentation. Some preprocessors produce something other than a runnable code. Tools like Phoenix, MKDoxygen analyze your files with created and annotated with an cross-reference set of the documentation files directly from code. These tools are designed for work with multiple languages, but almost all the languages have their own official preprocessor. Popular examples include Javadoc, Rustdoc, and Godot, and JSDoc. The preprocessor for integration data importing. Data scientists don't just speak R. They also write out complex data reports in a human language filled with charts and tables and graphs created by R. Over the years, data scientists have created complex preprocessors for not only R used as a LaTeX, the typesetting language. The scientists write everything in R in human language, then the preprocessor splits it up and sending of the computational instruction to R and typesetting instruction to the LaTeX. At the same time, it juggles the part to the pictures produced by R end up its right place in your document. The LaTeX and fold them into eventually the PDF that's produced from the human language part of the file. It does all the while also organization pages references and using illustration numbers to be consistent too. There are a variety of options with different strengths and advantages. R Markdown is a variation of the common Markdown that can also merge computational data and data analysis. It can also merge in result from a language like Python or JSQL to produce slides, documents, books, and websites. The Nikkei Nitril and this precursor Swift to a close aligned processors that whose want to Python with LaTeX. There's also PV One day they will be made a meta version that merges all of them into a one big preprocessor. Using AI, the pre-processing. All preprocessors require some configuration. Why not just get an AI to do it? Some are already uploading their preprocessor to an AI LLM, asked it to fix everything that's wrong. In one example, some bean counters hit the roof after developers told them it would cost more than $1 billion to rewrite their AGDA compiler to make it current. Someone had a bright idea to just upload over 500 more files from their codebase and enter topic Sonnet 3.5, and voila, the compiler was converted to TypeScript in the blink of an eye. The developers reported that the most of code ran fine with no intervention. The LLMs aren't perfect, but they are bringing us closer to the world where we can just wave the hands around the machines do our bidding like magic. Okay, thank you for your time and see you next time.